All right, number 7. We have z plus 2/3 equals 3 over 2. Okay, so when you have fractions, you want to get rid of them because it makes things more problematic. If the number on the bottoms were the same, we could just multiply each term by that bottom number and it will go away. When they're different, you need a common denominator, but you could still do it in 2 phases. So I'll just show you in 2 phases this time, and I'll also show you the common denominator. So if you do it in 2 phases, first we're going to multiply everything by 3, and then we're going to do everything by 2. So we're really doing both sides by 3. So what I'm doing is 3 times z plus 2 over 3. And the reason I'm multiplying by 3 to get rid of division by 3. When I multiply this left side, the distributive property comes into play, and both terms get multiplied by 3. And then on the right side, I multiply by 3. Now, when you multiply a number, okay, it doesn't multiply the top and the bottom. You got to think about this as 3 over 1. Okay, so 3 gets multiplied to the top, and 1 gets multiplied on the bottom. So with the z, we just multiply 3 times z, we get 3z. When we multiply this fraction, it just goes to the top, so we have 3 times 2, which you can write 6. I'm just leaving it as 3 times 2 because I want you to see that the reason why I multiply by 3 is so that I can divide out, and since those are being multiplied one term, that 3 is going to divide out, and I'm just going to be left with 2, so that fraction is going to be gone. And then on the right side, I'm going to end up with 3 times 3, which gives me 9 over 2. Now it's not canceling out the 2 because I didn't multiply by a factor of 2 yet. So cleaning this up, we end up with 3z plus 2 equals 9 over 2. Alright, now we want to multiply by 2 to get rid of this fraction. Okay, so same thing, this left side gets multiplied by 2. Distributive property comes into play, so both terms will get multiplied. And then we're going to multiply this term by 2. So 2 times 3 gives me 6z. 2 times 2 gives me a positive 4. And then when I multiply 2 over here, this is 9 times 2, or 2 times 9, however you want to write it, over 2. And I didn't multiply it because I know that 2 is going to divide out with that 2 on the bottom. And so once we do that, our problem gets cleaned up so that we only have whole number 6z plus 4 equals 9. And then from here, we want to isolate z. The 6 is attached to it, so you want to get rid of the 4 first. So you want to subtract 4 from both sides, and that goes to 0. Bring down 6z equals 5, and then 6 being multiplied by z, we want to divide it to get rid of it. So divide by 6, and 6 divided by 6 is 1, so we bring down z is equal to, and this will not reduce, or 6 won't go into 5, so we leave it as a fraction 5 over 6. Okay, so that's just one step at a time, a little bit long and drawn out. So if you can get to that point where you want to get a common denominator, and you can see that the common denominator is 6, 2 times 3 is 6, we're going to multiply everything by 6, and I'm going to show you the same thing. It'll be less work. So I'm going to multiply by 6 the z plus 2 over 3, and then over here I'm also going to multiply by 6 times the 3 over 2. So again, remember, this 6 is only multiplying the top of the fraction, not the bottom. Okay, so 6 over 1, multiply top, 1 on the bottom. So what happens? 6 times z, we get 6z, okay, which is familiar, what we saw over here. Okay, and then on the top we have 6 times 2 divided by 3. Now, I like to reduce first. So you can either do 6 times 2 and get 12, and then do 12 divided by 3. I like to just reduce it first. So 6 and 3 are both divisible by 3. So divide by 3, that's a 1. Divide by 3 just becomes a 2. And then I just do 2 times 2, and you end up with 4. So either way, if you did 6 times 2 divided by 3, you get 12 divided by 3, you get 4, or 2 times 2. And then over here, I like to just reduce them first. So you have 6 times 3 over 2. And then the 6 and 2 are both divisible by 2. And it has to be multiplication in order for this to work. So divide by 2, this becomes a 1. Divide by 2, this becomes a 3. So now I'm going to clean up what we have. So we have 6z, and 2 times 2 is 4. Divided by 1 is still 4, so we don't need that 4 on the bottom. And then 3 times 3 is 9. Divided by 1 is still 9. So we end up with the same thing, just a little bit less work if you can follow the reducing part. And then still subtract 4. We get 6z is equal to 5, and then the rest of it follows from here. So we still get 5 over 6.